Hey, welcome to another episode of Random Things with BK. Today we're going to go over just some basic use of the chainsaw. And today we're actually going to use my 40 volt Ryobi chainsaw instead of my gas powered chainsaw because these are becoming very popular and they're easy to use, and they're a great option for a homeowner that maybe doesn't have a whole lot of experience using a chainsaw. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do what I call like the pre-check or the pre-maintenance on my chainsaw. So I'm going to remove my little chainsaw tool, and you'll see it has a screwdriver and a nut driver that's specific to the chainsaw. I'm going to flip the chainsaw over here, pull off my blade cover, and I'm going to check my chain tension. Okay, and you see how I'm able to pull that like all the way out of the tracks? That's a little bit too loose. So to fix that, we're going to loosen these two bolts right here. So I'm just going to loosen them up, and I don't have to loosen them up all the way. I'm going to do like about a 3/4 turn and just get them loose. Okay. And then you see right here, you have this little directional deal, and pretty much every chainsaw, so if you have a Stihl or whatever, they're going to have a chain tensioner, okay? So plus is going to tighten it, and minus is going to loosen it. So we want to tighten it a little bit, so I'm going to turn it in this direction. And actually, we may have to, oh, no, there we go. So you can see I've turned it a little bit, and this adjuster is tightened it. See, now when I pull it, it just snaps right back into place, right? You don't want it to be too tight, so you should be able to pull it some, but then it just snaps back into place. Then, to lock it down, I'm going to tighten these bolts back up, and I'm going to get them pretty tight, because you don't really want your chain coming loose if you can help it. Now, all chainsaws will, as you use them, they will loosen up. So this is why every time I use my chainsaw, I check the chain tension. The next thing that I'm going to check is to make sure that I have bar oil, because even though this is an electric chainsaw, the chain still has to have lubrication. And it's important that you keep your bar oil full. And so my bar oil is real low because we just used it not too long ago. And I'm going to pour in some more. Now, some people may ask, what kind of bar oil is the best or whatever. I have found that whatever bar oil is available to you is the best. I usually do buy actual chainsaw bar oil, and I like to fill mine up to the bottom of that hole, but not all the way to the top, because then it isn't as bad about leaking out. So you can get bar oil at Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. They have it at your local hardware store. You may even be able to get it at Kroger or something. I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to get some more. I'm running out. All right. So that's our pre-check. So now we've got bar oil. We've tensioned our chain. We're going to put our tool back in its holder on the chainsaw, and we'll insert one of our 40 volt batteries. And now we're ready to go. So we're going to head out. The creek washed up a new large tree that I need to get cut up. So we'll use that tree as a good example on how to do this. So to start off, we'll remove the blade cover, put it off to the side, and then as you can see, this log is up off the ground, and the first thing I want to do is cut off this ball root. So I'm going to cut it right in here, but to start I need to cut a relief on the bottom so that it doesn't pinch my blade as I cut it. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you some basic stance and like that. So you're always going to put one hand here, one hand here, and you're going to set your stance in such a way that you're planted pretty well. Okay, always wear some safety glasses of some kind, and you know, a lot of people would recommend wearing, like, you know, chainsaw pants and all that. I don't necessarily do that, but it's not. Now I've made a relief cut on the bottom, which will allow, as I'm cutting through the log, for it to collapse in and not collapse on my chain blade here. So now I'm going to come above that and I'm going to go down to it. See how that collapsed in? And there we go, we're free. Okay, so now that my log is down and I don't want to cut into the rock, I'm going to use what they call a log jack. And you can purchase these at like Northern Tool, or I don't know if they have them at Harbor Freight, but I do know they have them at like a Tractor Supply. And so basically what this does is it has this hook with that spike, and it has a spike on this side, so it's going to grab the log. And then what I can do is I can set it a little ways out, and then I can just pick the log up like this. There we go. And now it's got the log up off the ground, which will make it much easier for me to cut. Now, because the log is going to fall off this way, I don't have to do the bottom relief cut anymore. So we're going to go about that far. As you can see, we got the log all cut up. So that's one chore done. And so if that video was helpful for you, please like and subscribe for more videos. In a future video, we'll show how to fell a tree, which would be pretty handy, but that's a little more advanced. So we'll do that in a different video. And we hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us on Random Things with BK.